Are you communicating the entire time? Are you expecting them to do most of the communication? Now, somebody that's an introvert, we may not really be able to count that, because that's a person that probably don't really talk that much and don't want to get out that much.
So fresh. I get a lot that. So I get a lot that I could be too much because I travel a lot. Like, I'm retired. I do what the fuck I want to do when I want to do it, and I don't wait for nobody, and I mean nobody, to do it. And I feel like sometimes that comes off as a little, like a lot of men say, what do I give a woman like you that already have everything? This is what men ask me. And I don't have everything. You know what I mean? Like, I got things, I don't have everything. I met this guy one time last year. I probably told y'all this story back in the day, Willie. But I met this guy last year, and one of the things I asked was about, how does he feel about communication? I asked him, how does he feel about dating? I think I'm somewhat of an extrovert, so I like to go to things, right? I like lounges, cigar lounges. I like different things, right? He says I'm an introvert. However, I want to learn how to be more extroverted, right? He sends flowers. He's want to go on these dates. He's doing all the things. He's communicating consistently at the beginning. I'm gonna say for a good month. I would say a good month. But then, and excuse me, y'all. But then, and I've never been intimate with him. He's just like, I asked him after a month, when's the next date, right? Like, first of all, why am I asking for when's the next date, right? But he says he felt like being an introvert, going on a date once a month was enough for him. He's like, that's enough for me. I'm good with that. And the flowers stop, the calls slowly stop, all that. I'm like, well, dang. Well, I asked you at the very beginning, this. You said you wanted to do this. Now, and I consistently kind of run into that. Like, communication issues, don't know how to say what they mean and mean what they say. That's my issue. I don't care about Melissa Ford, but I'm just sharing y'all, so maybe y'all can give me some light.
I think that one example of that gentleman and him being introverted and you being more extroverted, that's just one example. But I wouldn't see, just based on us interacting the last couple of months, I wouldn't see you having an issue attracting most men openly. I wouldn't see you having an issue, connecting with men who of similar interests. So for whatever reason, that disconnect, I'm not exactly sure why. You gave an example, which I appreciate, but that's kind of what I'll be trying to figure out. I've only been a man. When women say men are this way, right, I listen, but they never really give us more extensive explanation of what men really are. I think, one, I try to look at the frame of people are people. People get tired. Folks always present their best selves. People communicate sometimes with the best intentions of saying they would be all these things. But what is the best determining factor of a person's abilities is time and watching them without your influence. A lot of times in dating, it's very much a performative based thing. And that's not an age thing. I know 50-year-old women and men who pretend and still play like they in high school. And so I think that as mature people, you just got to be better at knowing what your system is. How I'm going to approach this. What is the type of time I want to spend with this person? Those things matter. It eliminates those who are not on your energetic level, your equilibrium of sorts. And again, I've only ever been a man, so I don't know when women are picking these guys. And I will tell you this, and I'll land. A lot of times men, when we're looking at men, we're judging it based on what we think a good man is. And so when we say, hey, Lakeisha, this dude be perfect for you, 90% of the time, you're not attracted to that guy for whatever freaking reason. So it seems that when it comes to women,
so I don't have a type, true. So
just using you as an example,
but people think. Look, so I'm woman that says he need to be 6 feet, 6 figures, this way. I just ask they be taller than me. Because if a fire happen, who gonna pick who up? Right? That's my only thing. If we the same size, we fight trying to get each other out that fire. I know it sounds silly, but that's all I ever asked. 6 figures, never been an issue. I reciprocate, and I've said this on this panel several times. I can reciprocate what I ask for, point blank, period, in any kind of way. You name it, I can do it.
That's why I wasn't using you as an example. I'll tell you a quick anecdote, and hopefully this will tie to what I'm saying. I used to have a best friend, and she was 20 years older than me. Very attractive lady, brilliant. I learned a lot from this lady. I was 24 when we met, so she was 40 something, but she looked great. Long story short, I had a church member who was around her age. She asked for a good, solid, God-fearing, responsible man. And I said, okay, cool. I know somebody like that. He was from the Caribbean, successful, all of that. But he was a little skinny. He had gray hair, and he didn't look like whatever she assessed to be her type, based on the fact that she looked 24, but she was 44. So when I say they went on a date, they hung out, he was everything she claimed she wanted. She went on a date, came back, and got mad at me and said, hey, yo, why would you recommend this guy for me? You must think low of me. So I was like, well, I don't understand. You said you wanted these things. He has all those things. Yeah, but I deserve this. And she was describing this Adonis type of man as almost a 50-year-old woman. So that's what I was saying moments ago. A lot of times, in my opinion, when we're assessing men, we're assessing them based on what we know a man's function really is in your life. It is not to make your butterflies flutter. It is not just to make you super excited every time he cheeses from ear to ear. And that may be our fault. I can own that maybe us as men need to develop in that area. But when we're assessing men, we're looking at, you need to be with somebody that you can trust long term, that ain't going to back out, that ain't going to fail on you. That's not a look. It's not a height. And it's not always necessarily a money level. But women generally speaking, have this idea of what the man is supposed to be on the markers that they have. And to me, that's the biggest disconnect. And I'll land.
Hey, I would say this. Your name Keisha? Hey, look, I would say decent to men. Don't worry about this whole procreation thing. That is another way to keep women mentally held down, right? This whole idea that you have to procreate. That is just another version to me personally from what you just said, right? I just walked away from what you said originally. All those things is meant to keep women in a state that they are not doing well enough in society. You can absolutely help the world even if you don't bring no children into it. It's all about the people that you help and who do you make better that is around you. That's what it's really all about. That's what legacy actually is that the people that when you leave here, the people that was in your life, you left them better off than if you wasn't in their life. So this whole idea that you gotta, you have all these things and you did all of the work and you just happen to not have either children or a man, that does not make you less of a human being or less of a woman. Keep on grinding. Hopefully you can find whatever it is that you are looking for yourself, that you see fit for that. But don't center the idea that men, when you find that one Prince Charming, now that you are complete. That's bullshit.
Okay, so that might make somebody feel good, but that doesn't solve a issue, right? What we're here to do is solve an issue. The sister presented an issue and True honestly looked at the opposite of introverted extrovert. And so what I would say is put yourself in a position where you're always looked at by respectable men, and also look at what kinds of men want what from you. How old was the gentleman that was the introvert?
49.
He was 49. Okay, cool. So like True said, I don't think that you would have a problem attracting men, but for the most part, keeping the attraction or keeping the attention is something that is tough for everybody. But you have to be honest about it and say, okay, what is it that may have people falling off over time? Are you communicating the entire time? Are you expecting them to do most of the communication? Now, somebody that's an introvert, we may not really be able to count that, because that's a person that probably don't really talk that much and don't want to get out that much.
So fresh.
But
I get a lot that. So I get a lot that I can be too much because I travel a lot. Like, I'm retired. I do what the I want to do when I want to do it, and I don't wait for nobody, and I mean nobody, to do it. And I feel like sometimes that comes off as a little,
So
like a lot of
real
men say, what do I give a woman like you that already have everything? This is what men ask me. And I don't
so
have everything. You know what I mean? Like, I got things. I don't have everything.
so two things I
Go
would
ahead,
ask.
Fresh. I'm sorry.
Two things. No, it's my fault. Two things I would ask is, do you normally profess that you can do whatever you want when you want? No?
Well, I think I wouldn't say I normally profess it. However, if you ask me what's my schedule for next week, I may be in Mexico. I don't know. So
Well,
I can't just not.
the reason why I asked is because if you ever seen that Bernie Mac episode when he came out of the bedroom after he handled his business and he was like, "Who's the man? I'm the man. Strong, intelligent, black man." Dun 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 dun. So when
I'm not
men,
telling people that.
I know you're not saying that. What I'm saying is, if you constantly give off that, it's like saying that all the time. I'm not saying that you do it. You may not even do that. But
So do I dumb myself down?
No, it's not about dumbing
You
yourself. No,
here?
no, 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 no,
You
no,
see
no,
what
no,
I'm
no, no,
saying?
no,
Like,
no,
this
no.
is what I
It's
do.
not. So this is the misconception.
I'm not going to do that. I'm just talking for the
You're not dumbing yourself down
Come on.
to be. You're not dumbing yourself down when you being like a gangster that moves in silence. You're not telling everybody your moves. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not telling everybody that you can do all these things. However, what I would say, but if we can just get away from that, maybe you're not, rubbing people the wrong way like that. We can cut that out. What I would say is, do you, as you say, you have all these things, do you profess what it is that you need?
Yes.
And that is?
I would say, I already talk about consistency a lot, right? I talk about communication. I'm really big on that. Initiative. I'm big on initiative. I'm big on support. I'm big on encouraging. The things that I can ask, I can, like I said, I can give, right? I'll give. Can you encourage me? We encourage each other, right? You invest in this relationship, I'm going to invest as well. Commitment. I will commit to you. You commit to me. I ask those things. I don't ask for money. I'm just asking mainly time. Probably time is my thing.
Okay.
Time.
Cool. And do you ask them what they need of you? Or do you know what they need of you?
So everybody's different.
Okay.
So I'll ask. Every man is different. And yeah, I do ask. So there's no one thing. Most men I hear say, I want peace. Every man says, from a woman, I want peace. Peace, 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 peace. That reminds me of all your past traumas of non-peace that you've gotten, because I haven't given you the inclination that I don't give off peace. But a lot of men that I meet off the jump, they say they want peace.
I mean, it could just be peace because we constantly battle in the world in order to be able to give to somebody else. So that doesn't mean we always just got chaos from elsewhere. You know what I'm saying? Peace is, I come in from work and I get to see you and you are pleasant and we get to have a good time on the couch without you talking my head off about a bunch of stuff that I don't care for over, an hour. Peace is just sitting in
You
silence
never have to
watching.
come home and not have peace with me.
Okay,
That's a fact.
cool.